Welcome back to I Shine Connect.
I always say that when God calls you, it wasn't a conference call.
Yeah.
Right?
So good.
And if you feel so passionate about my message, maybe that's what God's called you to do.
Yeah.
You know, be passionate about what God's called you to do and let everybody else stay in their lane and do exactly what God has called them to do and do it well. And everybody do what they're called to do and let's see Jesus come back.
Because it takes all of us.
It does.
You know, it takes everyone doing what God's called them to do because there's so many different types of personalities. There's so many different people that God he's so strategic. And if we'll just get in agreement and in line with him, I believe that we'll be happier and we'll reach more people.
And then we're all working together.
Yeah.
I know, and I think part of that too is celebrating each other, celebrating the different gifts. I mean, we're one thing in effect of encouragement, hope, but you know what? There's other people that are disciplined, other people that are strong. I mean, I've worked with a lot of these pastors in the Bronx. I mean, they're out on the streets, they're getting people off addictions, they're trying to bring people out of poverty, and they're doing fabulous work. They don't get any credit, but to me, we're all doing it together, and I think it's, you know, to me, I feel it's short-sighted to say, well, they're not doing what I'm doing, so they're not quite as good, or they're doing it wrong. And
they're not doing enough of it.
Well, I think about how God made such variety in everything, in flowers or animals, or just he creates all kinds of variety. Well, he made variety in us as well and given us all different gifts. But I think the more you can celebrate other people, not even understanding it all, but just say, you know what, that's what God's called them to do. I celebrate them, I pray for them. You know, that the higher God can take you.
I feel inspired. He's my vitamin for the next day, just to make it through.
We see it on TV, and it's so much better live. I love his ministry, and just love his heart and his passion for the Lord, and just his message of hope and grace. It's a message that I think is just really resonating with people today, and it's what we need.
Because he says so many things that ring a bell to me. But when I leave, I always feel so much better.
He brings out the light and the light in abundance of people. The energy is just wonderful.
He always inspires you. He's always positive. He's always lifting people up.
I've been excited for this for months. We've been so excited. I'm a big fan of Joel Osteen. He's done a lot for me, saved my life.
Okay, let me just say this one thing. I like it when you guys get fired up like this. I really do. But I just want to jump back in. It's Friday,
yes,
August 5th, and we are at Yankee Stadium. If you just tuned in, they're all riled up over one question I asked. But, you know, you're making a bit of a point for right here in 2022. When you became pastor in 1999, you're amazed I knew that, right? Okay. Actually, I came to your church in October of '99, and you had just been the pastor for a short time.
Yeah.
And you helped me promote the movie we were doing, Omega Code. But social media wasn't what it is today back then.
I know.
Okay? So you were you back then, and you didn't have a lot of outside influence trying to shape what you're doing.
Wrangle you.
And so isn't that what kind of 2022 is about? That people are who they are, and then everyone's opinion shows up on social media and tries to change them. You're steadfast. I started this by saying, now if you'd have taken that deal with the theaters, you might have been, your influence might have been able to deal with the airplane.
I hear you.
So, but realistically, you didn't say that, but what the offer was basically to put churches anywhere in America. Yeah. You would have been, in essence, pastoring America through all of these different things, and you decided to do the way you did it because you were steadfast in doing one thing the way God told you to do it. And man, if everybody would do that, so the example that we see of that, Joel, we know how important that is. And it's like this big object lesson because people want to shift and change. Basically, when the wind blows this way in social media, oh, then we say this. When the wind blows this way in social media, you're not like that. And the only time I've seen you riled up big time was when you were telling me about some big influential person trying to change you.
Yeah. It's exactly right, Matt, because it's so easy to succumb. In my nature, I am more easygoing and low key, and I respect these people that have tremendous ministries and been here. They're my elders, but you know what? I just felt it strong, and I think that's what it takes to run our race, to become who we were created to be. Because you're right, all the social media, a lot of it is negative, unfortunately. I know there's a lot of good, but I know we've talked about this before, but I don't get down in the weeds and read any of that. I don't think any of you should read negative comments, even if it's at work, or even it's just not dwelling on them. Even if you hear them, that just poisons your spirit. I mean, every day's a gift from God. We're talking about Friday, August 5th. We'll never get this back. I mean, wherever you are today, there's good things going on in your life. I'm sure there's challenges too, but man, there's something that you could be grateful to be alive today. I tell Victoria all the time, we're living in the good old days. We look back 20 years ago, man, this was all great. Well, this is the good old days. 20 years from now, we're going to look back and say, man, you remember when we were there all together? And so, I don't know. I think it's important to enjoy life and not let all these outside influences steal our joy. Because there's always something. Somebody, 100 people can say good things to you, and one person say something negative, or you get caught in traffic, or just some little things I think can steal our joy. So there's always something, but I think, boy, you just have to make that choice. I'm going to live this day in faith. I'm going to be good to somebody. I'm going to see the good, not denying our problems, but just making a choice to stay in faith. It's another day the Lord has made. We're going to rejoice and be glad.
That's kind of what this event is about, because we could all get stuck in the pandemic, because it seems like once this pandemic's over, they're already getting ready to release about 4 or 5 more. But so there's always going to be things. What is that bad? I mean, I hear all this stuff on the news, and I'm like, it's time to start living. We can't be afraid of everything. We got to trust God, because we could be afraid constantly of what we're hearing, and fear is not where God wants us to position ourselves at. He wants us to pass that fear and go into trust. And that's really what we hope that people take away. It's like it's time to start coming back to God, coming back to hope, coming back to trust and believe that He can take care of us. I mean, it's not going to change. It's still going to come at us, but let's go get in line with God, because that's where the safe place is.
I met Mr. Tross in 2009. He was so kind and generous to allow us to come to the stadium, so we're partnering now. But we were talking before the little recording here. You've been with the Yankees for 47 years.
With them, representing them, and I was thrilled to hear you say how much importance for you to come home. And now you're really coming home to the cathedral that we call Yankee Stadium.
I know, I love that. He helped design this building. When I was here the first time, we walked the old building, and then you helped design this. But you have such a history here working with Mr. Steinbrenner and the Steinbrenner family. Y'all done amazing.
They're wonderful people, wonderful owners. They've done so much for the city. And, with you and your fans coming in here, there's so much more that we can do. And to establish that, we just want to show you that not only do you have the NY, we have, even though names generally don't go on jerseys, we have a special one for you and for you.
Oh, thank you.
So kind.
Having you here. It's wonderful for the city. It's wonderful for the fans. It's an opportunity to bring everyone here. And as you said, it's a time, the pandemic's here, and now it's time for the hope that you can bring out.
Our day.
We'll be right back after this short break.
It's a bat, it's a ball, it's a mid, it's a call. It's a sacrifice, but not a line. It's a catch at first base, it's the sun in your face. It's a flamethrower shaking a sign. It's a time with your friends, hoping it never ends. 'Cause it's still time after 9. Get up and go for all the action. Get up and go for all the fun. It's Major League Satisfaction. Get up and go.
Next season at a ballpark near you.
A message from Major League Baseball.